Hello guys, welcome back. In this session, we are going to talk about the cloud platforms and what are the service models in Microsoft Azure, right? So let's talk about cloud platforms. You already know who is providing cloud in the market now, right? So majorly there are three cloud providers. One is Microsoft, Amazon, and Google, right? So Microsoft is providing Azure Cloud as a cloud platform, and Amazon is providing Amazon Web Service as a cloud platform, and Google is providing Google Cloud as a cloud platform. And there are so many. There are Alibaba, IBM, Oracle, and number of cloud providers. But majorly, these are the three top cloud providers in the market at this moment, right? And we also need to know what are the service models available in each every cloud. So when you talk about Azure or AWS or Google, there are service models. Okay, so when I say services, okay, first before getting into the service models, and you need to understand every time I say service. Okay, what is mean by services? Services nothing but guys, it's a simple, so virtual machine, database, storage, networking, everything whatever you do in a real time in data center level. So that in Azure we call it as not only Azure, right, AWS, Google, so they call it as a services, right? Because they are providing services to you, so that's why you can consider all of them into a name called as a services, right? So next, what is a Microsoft Azure Cloud? So we are going to focus on only Microsoft Azure Cloud. Okay, and you already know, right, what is mean by Microsoft Azure Cloud. It's one of the cloud platform where you can create your services, cloud services to your business organization, right? Okay, and people can ask or think about one thing here. Okay, so when you decide, you may have some questions, right? Whether I choose to I need to learn AWS, or I need to learn Microsoft Azure or Google, right? But you can learn based upon the market demand. If it is a Microsoft Azure is very demanded, you can go with the Microsoft Azure Cloud. If it is AWS, you can go with AWS. But my suggestion, Microsoft Azure, one of the fastest growing cloud in the market at this moment, because when you compare in the last 2 years, it has been rapidly increasing, and then it is becoming very popular, and most of the companies also preferring to migrate whatever they have data center level services, VMs or whatever they have in their organization. They're migrating to Microsoft Azure. Technically, if you ask me whether we need to migrate to the AWS or Microsoft Azure, so I prefer it depend upon your organization, because if your organization is completely relies on Microsoft platforms, Microsoft applications, licensing, everything, then it is easy to migrate Azure Cloud, because when you choose Microsoft Azure, you will not have any compatibility issues. Okay, so what I mean to say is, there are some companies, some X companies, you're working in a some X company, and your company completely rely on Windows products. Okay, so later you have realized to migrate an Azure Cloud or AWS. So which one you used to choose? So you always better to choose Azure Cloud, because you're already using Windows product, so it is easy to compatible and easy to migrate the stuff from your organization to cloud. Getting my point? So learning perspective, the concept wise, if you learn Azure services or if you learn AWS services, the concept wise everything same. Only difference here what you see is the naming. Okay, so we call it as a virtual machine in Azure, and the instance in Amazon they call it as an instance. Okay, the concept wise both in all the cloud platforms, but you have to only you have to only focus on the naming conventions, how to perform, where to go in the different cloud platforms. Right? Yeah. Let's focus on service models in Microsoft Azure. Okay, as I said, we are going to completely learn about Microsoft Azure IaaS administration. Okay, so and Microsoft Azure is providing a number of cloud services, right? And we cannot learn each and every services, right? So that's why all services are categorized into three main platforms. Okay, so three service models, right? So they are IaaS and PaaS and SaaS. IaaS nothing but infrastructure as a service, and PaaS nothing but platform as a service, and SaaS nothing but software as a service. Right? And who can learn what? Okay, there are three services, and I mean it's a quite difficult. A single person, cannot learn all the three services and work in an organization, right? It's quite difficult. So I mainly suggest, if you're interested into completely admin kind of part, and if you're a system administration, if you're a support, and well, you have a well background on Windows or virtualization. So first you go ahead and learn IaaS platform in Azure. Okay, infrastructure as a service. This platform completely going to talk about infrastructure end to end, how to create a virtual machine, networking, security, lot of stuff you're going to learn, and you're going to become an Azure administration. Okay, you are become an Azure support engineer. Okay, so and the developers, it's really not necessary, I mean, to learn IaaS, but yeah, you have a special services, cloud services, that is being hosted under platform as a service, right? So platform as a service, mainly developer can focus on this. You already have a good background knowledge on developing things, or you have a .NET or whatever you things you're doing in a real time. Okay, so you can learn. If you doesn't have any knowledge on PaaS, you can learn PaaS services in Azure, so that you can become an Azure developer, right? And coming to the SaaS, software as services. Okay, so this the people can who really looking at automation side, and people who is looking for DevOps side, and you can learn this software as a service. This service is going to talk about Azure DevOps, and there are other special services too. Okay, right now, and at least now you guys understood, right, who can learn what. Okay, but the people can also learn all these three and become an architect. It doesn't matter, right? So you can even learn all the three, and you can become an architect, cloud architect, for your organization. Okay. For beginners, I'll suggest, if you're not interested in development, you go for IAS. The beginners, if you're not interested in admin, you go for PaaS, or some people can SaaS. And you can choose a career where you wanted to go and decide to start. Okay, right. So technically, what is mean by IaaS? Infrastructure as a service. So it means that when you are choosing infrastructure as a service platform in Azure, so what it means that Microsoft is going to provide a raw of hardware level access. Okay, it means you can create a virtual machine, you can delete them, you can do, you can perform some activity, edit, update, and basically you are going to get some hardware level access from the Microsoft data center. Getting it? That is what infrastructure as a service. Best example, you can call it as a virtual machine. So you can tag as a virtual machine, because if you wanted to create a virtual machine, you're directly going to get hardware level, so that you can create a virtual machine underlying Microsoft hardware. I'm getting it, right? So coming to the PaaS, platform as a service. Platform as a service, you really no need to get any hardware level access. You just need to have a platform. So something like you have a SQL database. Okay, so to enabling SQL database service, you don't need to have any server level, or you don't need to create any VM and inside the service. It is just a service. You can directly utilize from the Azure cloud, right? It is a just platform. So it means that Microsoft is not going to provide any hardware level access for any platform related services. It is just service you can utilize from the Azure cloud. So as I said, the best example, SQL in on premises, what you are doing, SQL for installation, you have to download the software, set up the installation, everything you are going to take care. In cloud, it is a just service, you not to worry about any virtual machine or something, right? Everything is taken care by data center admins at Microsoft. So you just need to enable the service and start using the platform, either SQL, or you can consider Postgres, any platform you can consider, right? And coming to the SaaS, for SaaS, right, software as a service, you don't need to have any infrastructure level of access. You don't need to have any platform access, right? It is a just software which is already implemented by the Microsoft, and so that you can just browse that application. You can use that into your organization. Okay, best example you can consider SharePoint, Office 365, or you can DevOps. Okay, these all already predefined developed application, and that service is going to enable for your organization, so that you can just browse that particular service on browser. So you will be getting a console of application. Okay, so using that application, you can manage however you want for your organization. So it means you're not getting any platform level, you're not getting any infrastructure, you're getting an just application access, software access to manage your organization. Getting it? So guys, admin can go for infrastructure as a service platform, developers who can for the platform as a service, and automation DevOps can learn and software. So if you are interested, please you can learn all these three, right? But in our videos, we are going to completely cover about infrastructure as a service. Okay? Yep. I hope you understand. If you have any questions here, please put in a section. I mean, in a comment, you can comment on your questions, right? Yeah. Now we know what are the service models available Azure, right? So the next thing is, what is the next thing? You know, cloud services now. I'm eagerly waiting to access them. Okay, so we need to access the cloud services, right? So how to access Microsoft Azure Cloud? So as I said, guys, accessing any cloud services pretty simple, but basic prerequisite is you should have internet to your system. Okay, so once you have internet to system, and the next thing is you should know how to access it. Okay, so we have a two URLs, I mean two portals available in Microsoft Azure. Okay, so that's why I mentioned what are the portals available in Microsoft Azure to access Azure basically. Okay, I'll tell you there are two portals actually. So right now we are not using one, we are using only a new portal, that is ARM portal. Okay, but we'll discuss both. Okay, so the first portal, when Microsoft initially launches, right? I mean, when Microsoft introducing cloud in the market, they have named as a classic portal, and also it can also called as a Azure Service Manager portal. Now we are calling as old portal because we are not no more using it, is decommissioned, right? So when I say classic portal, so when Microsoft introduced the cloud, right, they have come up with a limited services, guys. When I was working in the past 3 4 years back, there are around 60 or 70 services, very less services, cloud services. And the look, right, when you open the portal, you look it look like operating like Windows Server 2003. I hope now you know, right, when you're operating Windows Server 2016 or Windows 10 client system, and when you go back and use Windows Server 2003 or Windows XP systems, you know a lot of difference, right? It's very difficult to understand, or it's not user friendly. Basically what I mean to say is it's not user friendly and it's difficult to operate, a lot of challenges. Okay, so here classic portal is something, it has only limited services Microsoft introduced in the market, and later it can also called as I said, Azure Service Manager portal. Now we are calling it old portal because it is decommissioned. Okay, and what is a portal that we are using currently is, it is a new portal, and you can also call it as a ARM portal. ARM that stands for Azure Resource Manager portal. Okay, so if you look at, right, as I said, classic portal, it only have 60 plus or 70 services, but in a new portal, my goodness, so day by day the services increasing very rapidly, their integration is very faster. Okay, in market there are a lot of services coming, and Microsoft is going to integrate with them. So if you think, I believe it's now more than 200 and cloud services available. It's more than that. I never calculated, to be honest. Yeah, but it's more than the 200 plus services in available in Azure Resource Manager portal. Okay, you can ask me one question here, right? You're saying a classic portal is decommissioned and we are not using it. Okay, and all are using ARM portal. Bas, I mean, when Microsoft introduced the portal, so most of the clients being used the classic portal, right? So if they had already created environment in the classic portal, you're telling the environment is decommissioned, classic portal decommissioned, it is not accessible. Then how they are going to manage? It's a good question, right? Yep. So well, most of the customers is already been migrated to the new portal, ARM portal. Okay, however, if you still think if there are still customers are left with the classic portal, so nothing to worry. Okay, they can manage from using ARM portal. Okay, so how they can manage? So whatever they have a classic portal services, as I said, there are 60 plus services, right? All, not all migrated, there are a few which is having more dependency, they are migrated to the ARM portal, they are migrated to the new portal. So it means that if still any customer is using the classic portal, they are pretty much can manage from the ARM portal, new portal. And you also see the difference. I mean, we also have some services mentioning classic service, so by looking at you will understand, okay, this is related to the classic environment, so something like that. Okay, now you got it. Classic portal is the initial portal, and now it is decommissioned. And the new portal that we are using currently, and that is also called as the Azure Resource Manager portal. Okay, so this is a main difference, right? I hope you all understand. Okay, questionnaire is, what is a Microsoft Azure? Everybody knows Microsoft Azure is a cloud platform where you can create, manage cloud services to your business, right? So what is the difference between IaaS, PaaS and services? As I already told, IaaS, infrastructure as a service, you are going to get a raw level of hardware. PaaS, platform as a service, you are not going to get any raw level of hardware, but you're just going to get access to the platform as a service, something like SQL database, Postgres, anything you can consider related to the platform. And coming to the SaaS, no infrastructure and no platform. You're going to just get access on application, software application. Best example, Azure DevOps you can consider, or SharePoint or something like that. And the next one, difference between ASM and ARM portals. As I said, ASM stand for Azure Service Manager. It is an old portal, and it is classic portal. And when Microsoft initially introduced the cloud in the market, they have come up with a limited services, and they have named it as a ASM. Okay, and most of the services migrate to the ARM, and right now the ASM portal is not accessible, it is decommissioned. And coming to the ARM is a current portal that we are using in the market, and it stands for Azure Resource Manager. So everything can manage it using ARM portal only. Okay, any questions here? You can paste in a comment section, guys. So wait for next video.